So veneers are a handcrafted layer of porcelain that is placed over the top of your existing tooth. So we can use porcelain veneers for a number of options. It could be to lengthen teeth, to change the shape of teeth, whiten teeth, whether it's to create a new transformation or harmony to your smile, or whether it's to correct crowding. So there's lots of different reasons why we would place a porcelain veneer on a tooth, and there's many different ways that we can go about that. If you're interested in porcelain veneers, the best place to start is usually a consultation with your dentist. So if you're interested in that, you can come in for one of our complimentary smile consultations and we can start the process. So porcelain veneers aren't a one-stop shop. They are a custom-made or handcrafted layer of porcelain that's going to sit over the top of your tooth. So once we have prepared your teeth for the porcelain veneer, we then take a 3D digital scan of your teeth, which we can then send to the laboratory. Then our master ceramists will use this 3D mock-up of your teeth to create the layer of porcelain that will sit over the top. And this includes looking at our digital smile design to get the shapes, the lengths, the contours, then to consider the opacity, the shade, translucency, how we can get those natural aesthetics for you. So when you think of the different types of veneers that are out on the market, the main two is to think, okay, am I going porcelain veneers or am I going composite veneers? For the purposes of this video, I'll be talking about porcelain veneers. So porcelain veneers, the word porcelain is a very loose term. Within that, and when you get down to the nitty-gritty of dentistry, there are different materials that we can use for your porcelain veneers, whether that be lithium disilicate, or EMAX as we call it, or zirconia. And within these two materials, they have their own properties and their own pros and cons. So when it comes to us deciding which material we'll use for your porcelain veneers, we will have the discussion with you and we will guide you as to what our team thinks will give you the best result. So I think by now everybody's seen that TikTok video that's going around of the girl getting her porcelain veneers and she's left with a little tiny stump. Unfortunately, in some cases that is the reality, but most of the time that is not what porcelain veneers are about. The idea of porcelain veneers is that we are going to be adding a layer of porcelain over the top of your tooth. If that layer of porcelain needs to be a certain thickness to give you the smile that we want, then that is how much tooth structure that we will need to remove. But we don't just go in there with a drill, arbitrarily and remove tooth structure. We use our digital smile design to let us know, okay, are we looking at 0.3 of a millimeter, 0.7 of a millimeter, 1 millimeter of tooth structure here so that we can get your ideal smile result. People then say, okay, I don't want my teeth to be touched. Can I get composite veneers instead? The thing with composite veneers is that in order to get an aesthetic result, we can't again just slap on some composite on the front of the tooth. We need to work with the width of your lips and your smile. So again, do we need to remove some tooth structure to add the composite over the top? So this is a discussion that we have when you come in for your initial consultation, so we can work out what do we think would give you the best result and what are you comfortable with. The price of a porcelain veneer, particularly in Melbourne, can vary quite greatly. I've heard of porcelain veneers from $1,500 up to $2,500. Obviously, everybody is different. A porcelain veneer, as I said before, and I will continue to say, it's not something that we just stick on the front of the tooth. It's a creative process. So the cost of porcelain veneers will vary on how much time, how much change needs to be made to the tooth, what the handcrafting process is of these porcelain veneers. The other thing as well that we need to consider is what are we doing to your smile and how much are we transforming it? I've had people talk to me about going overseas and having porcelain veneers placed for $500, $600 a tooth. And whilst yes, it is appealing to have your porcelain veneers placed, for such a reduced price, you really have to think, are there shortcuts that are being taken here? Because for us, certainly the amount of time that we take, and if you watch our video about what is the porcelain veneer process, you'll understand that there are quite a few detailed steps involved and everything is done with such precision. Can it be achieved with a quick holiday overseas? I'm not sure. And the other thing that you need to consider is the maintenance and follow-up. Who can you turn to if something does go wrong, which unfortunately, the mouth is a pretty harsh environment at times. So you need to be able to go to someone who can say, okay, I know exactly what's going on here and this is how we fix it. This is a big question. A lot of people come in and ask, how long will my porcelain veneers last? Really, when we're thinking about this, we have to look at you as an individual. What is it that brought you on the journey to having porcelain veneers in the first place? Did you have worn down teeth? Did you have cracked teeth, broken teeth, misshapen teeth, decay? That will dictate or give us a bit of an idea of how long your porcelain veneers will last. Oftentimes, it's not actually the porcelain layer on the top of the tooth that is failing. It is what is happening underneath. So what is going on with your natural tooth? So if you are someone who has strong muscles, you grind your teeth, you had worn teeth, or if your diet or flossing habits aren't conducive to keeping the underlying tooth structure healthy, that's going to reduce the amount of time that your porcelain veneers last. And that's where those 6 monthly checkup and cleans come in really handy when you've had your porcelain veneers placed. So digital smile design, it's not just a thing that we do when you come in, it's not a procedure, it's actually the whole concept and the whole sort of idea from beginning to completion of your treatment plan. Digital smile design obviously is utilizing the latest technology, so we take a 3D scan of your teeth to start with, we take a series of photos, and then we have a conversation with you, because I can design a smile, but that smile may not necessarily be fitting with your personality, be who you are, what you're wanting to achieve. So from there, we then say, okay, how can we give you back your smile, or how can we give you a new smile entirely? And that is the process of digital smile design. So once we have designed your dream smile, then what we can do is a try before you buy, if you like. So you come in, we have 3D printed this computer plan of your dream smile, and we can actually try that into the mouth. So we can try it in various colors and shapes, and you can look in the mirror or look at the photos and say, actually, yeah, this is what I was after, or no, I wanted more length or more width to my smile. The whole process is really governed by you, and we're just there to guide you. So when it comes to porcelain veneers, the first big appointment is the preparation appointment. So that's where you come in for a dental procedure and we start preparing your teeth for the porcelain veneers. A lot of the time people go, but what do I go home looking like? Do I go home with my normal teeth, or do I go home with my new teeth? And if so, for how long? So what actually happens is you wear your temporary veneers for usually about 3 weeks, which is the time that the lab technicians require to handcraft your new porcelain veneers. Now, these temporary veneers are the shape and the size of that digital smile design that we were talking about. So the shape and size of the handcrafted, mock-up that we created for you. So with those temporary veneers, you go home, you can talk to your family, to friends, get a bit of an idea on their opinions, what they think, how they think it looks, and then you come back in and we make any final adjustments to those shapes and send those to the technicians so that they can continue to modify your smile. So when the porcelain veneers go in, they are perfect. The cementation appointment, this is probably the most looked forward to appointment of all of the veneer appointments, because this is the day that you do get those new porcelain veneers put in your mouth permanently. So what will happen is you'll come in, we will remove the temporary veneers that have been in place over the last 3 weeks, and then we will try in the new porcelain veneers. This is when you'll get to have a look at the final product. You'll smile, we'll check the shape, the shade, take some photos, and then we glue the porcelain veneers in. I think one of the really important things about a smile makeover is what happens once you go home. So once you go home with your new porcelain veneers in, it's really important to consider this procedure like you would any other surgical procedure that you have done. There is a healing phase involved. So usually we like to wait 3 to 6 months to allow our gums, our smile, the facial muscles, the lips, everything to get used to the new porcelain veneers that you have inside the mouth. But not only talking from a healing perspective, we're also thinking about how you are going to adapt with your personality to your new smile. Because in some cases, when we are doing a full transformation, people can go from having only a couple of teeth in the mouth to having this big, beautiful, bright smile. And obviously there is that sort of adjustment period. Always we find that it is a positive adjustment period, but like anything new, it can take some time to get used to. So like anything we do, whether it's you're getting a new haircut, you need to sort of work into that haircut, learn how to style it. The porcelain veneers are the same. We have to wait for your gums to grow into and sort of learn to live around these new porcelain veneers, which will really give them the final touch. They say that after you've had porcelain veneers done, you really notice the difference, usually within 3 to 6 months. That's when the smile transformation is complete. That's when you are fully beaming, you've got those facial muscles activated, and you're now back to giving your biggest, brightest smile. So you've had the porcelain veneers or you've had the composite veneers placed, and I wish it was as easy as you could go home and forget about them, but they are very important to take care of. So when it comes to looking after your porcelain veneers, composite veneers, I'll call them veneers to keep this video nice and short, we need to consider that there is still tooth underneath. Porcelain veneers can still get staining around the edges, can get decay around the edges or gum issues. Your mouth and your teeth are a living thing, so we have to consider the bacteria, the sugars, everything that is going in or coming out of our mouth can affect our porcelain veneers and the longevity. So when you go home and you start looking after your porcelain veneers, make sure that you're brushing them well, you're getting in between the teeth with floss to remove any plaque buildup, or pixters as well are great to use in between the porcelain veneers. The other thing that we need to consider is what forces are being applied to those porcelain or composite veneers. Are you someone who clenches or grinds your teeth, or do you swipe them back and forth in your sleep, which you don't know about? So we'll get you into a protective grinding guard. So this sits over the top of your porcelain veneers. You wear it at night time whilst you sleep, and it protects that porcelain from those unwanted forces. The other thing that we need to consider is your diet. So as I was saying before, there's still tooth structure under those veneers, so we need to make sure that those teeth are not any more susceptible to decay or gum disease or gum issues than any other tooth in your mouth. So that's where we will have a conversation with you about, making sure that your intake of sugary or acidic drinks is kept to a minimum. Sticky foods, anything that's going to get stuck in the grooves or stuck in between the teeth is just, asking to get in under that beautiful porcelain veneer and cause problems. So as we've said before, porcelain veneers, the actual veneer itself is not usually the thing that breaks down, it's the tooth underneath, so we need to keep them healthy. The other thing to consider as well is some people struggle with gastric reflux. Some people struggle with gastric reflux or other issues that can cause them to have this uptake of acidic substances into the mouth. Whether you're going through pregnancy and you have severe morning sickness for the entire period, that can cause damage to your teeth as well. And that's the underlying tooth structure, not necessarily the porcelain veneer. So if we have a conversation with you, or if you think this is something that could be affecting your teeth, then we will chat to you about that, potentially guide you to see your GP about who could manage this for you in other ways as well. But there's lots of multifaceted ways that your body and your lifestyle can affect what's going on in your mouth. So starting the process of your porcelain veneer journey shouldn't be daunting. It's actually quite a straightforward process. Once you make the phone call to come in and have your consultation with one of our dentists about what you're after for your smile. And if we discuss and we decide, yes, porcelain veneers is the best option for you, then we will start the porcelain veneer smile design process. So from there, we take a digital scan of your teeth, we take a series of photographs, and we sit down and we decide, okay, what are we trying to achieve here? We involve our master ceramists from the laboratory to also give a bit of an idea as to what shapes would work best for you and your smile. From there, we can try in that digital smile design. Once you've tried in the digital smile design, we again take photos. We practice talking, speaking, seeing how everything looks and sounds, and especially how it looks when you smile. If we are happy with everything and we have dotted our I's and crossed our T's, then we start the preparation appointment. So this is where you come in and we physically prepare the teeth for the porcelain veneers. Now this appointment can take a couple of hours. After this appointment, you will go home wearing your temporary veneers. And these veneers are a replica of that digital smile design that I was talking about earlier that we created. For 3 weeks, the master ceramist will create your porcelain veneers, and then you will come back for the cementation appointment, which is when we finally glue in those porcelain veneers.